Hi, my name is Dimitri Frederick, and you're watching Voices for the Voiceless, a Frederick media production and a subsidiary of Frederick Capital. Today is May the 20th, 2011, and today's show is entitled Probleme, Ayiti. In other words, what is Haiti's problem? And so today's show we're going to look into Haiti, as they just celebrated on May 15 Haitian Flag Day. But this show is not about Haiti and the Haitian Flag Day. It's about more than just looking at Haiti from perspective. What is the problem with Haiti that's causing it from having success? The problem that's causing it from being a sovereign country where it could actually progress in the 21st century and financially be independent for itself. We could also look at other countries as well, similar to the show I'm going to share with you today, because countries like Libya, Egypt, they're all facing the same problems, and it is to be financially stable to overcome its struggles. And so, in the same light, we could also look at America as a whole, because as I shared on the show today with you, understand and think about, America, what is, the things that's keeping America from ever progressing, because we could be a better country, a better nation, if we resolve some of the key issues that's holding us back. And so take a look at the show. I have a lot of information I want to share with you, so let's get started, as always. On January 1st, 1804, Haiti became a free country. Haiti was the first black independent country to have fought for their freedom. Not too many people know that fact. You may not know also that Haiti was once a beautiful country filled with prosperity. It had gold, minerals, natural resources, and other worldly goods that were considered valuable at the time. However, all that changed when Napoleon Bonaparte came and destroyed that country and tore it apart. And Haiti has never looked the same since. Today, it is considered to be one of the world's poorest countries in all of the West Indies. Haiti is known for its continuous infighting, violence, and its military stronghold over the country. It has a long history of self-destruction based on its dictatorship style of government rule that has plagued it from seeing any form of success whatsoever. I truly believe that Haiti, past success and its culture of self-pride has led its people to what I call a generational de-evolution, meaning that Haiti cannot ever get out of its own way for progress because our Haitian ancestors had a taste of freedom that resonated even to this day, to this present day in our history. Therefore, the very thing that has set us free has now kept its people in captivity for generations. Let me repeat that again for those who missed it. The very thing that has set us free, that is, having been the first blacks to win its independence, has now kept its people in captivity for generations. Why do I say that? Well, the reason for that is because of Haiti's history of dictatorship style of government. The people of Haiti have not learned any other form of government other than through dictatorships who have all come from a military background. You have seen leadership in Haiti, and it has always been taken by force and not by freedom, nor the freedom of true democracy. Its citizens can never agree on one elected leader. They have tried doing elections, but each time, it has ended in violence, mistrust, corruption, or dissatisfaction of the elected official. Furthermore, the end result has always been to riot and start a revolt. Each time, the outcome does not benefit the status quo. Right now, I want to break down what I have just said to you to a book that I read last year, and it was by Malcolm Gladwell. The book is called Outliers. Now, if you have not read this book, you are truly missing out. It is one of the most powerful books I have ever read in my life. I think the philosophies that Gladwell states in this book alone makes him a genius, because he breaks down the history of what it takes to be successful in this world. I am going to show you how this book relates to tonight's topic of what is Haiti's problem, by focusing on one important question that Gladwell asks in one of his chapters. Mr. Gladwell points out some interesting facts when he asks indirectly the question, where does hatred and self-destruction come from? In his book, he did a study on how different cultures have different temperaments. He did several control tests to see how and what makes us angry and why. The test proved that based on where you come from, you can either have a tendency to lose your cool easier than others. For example, if you are from the southern states, people are more laid back and friendly, versus if you are from the northern states where we can be quick and rude to each other, giving each other the finger as we feel is necessary to do so. The second study that Gladwell did, he researched and explained the evolution of family feuds and where they came from. Do you remember when you were young and you had a fight with your girlfriend at school or a guy friend? You were so mad at the person that you told lies or started spreading rumors about that person's so-called friend of yours because you were just angry at them. After a while, others joined in without even knowing why they had hate that person or disliked them and so and so. You know how it starts. Julie told me not to like her or whatever the case may be. We all remember those days as kids. Well, that is what happens as families migrated and settled each state. Here's how it begins. Someone had a feud that led to some gunfights, which led to other family feuds to start, and all of a sudden, it spreads like wildfire. Gladwell states that some feuds have gone on for generations and even centuries due to pure anger and hatred for the other family member. Some of them have been recorded in our history books because they were purely rages of violence that left hundreds of thousands of families dead as Americans settled into what we call cities and towns today. So this brings me to the conclusion of today's show. If you look back at the history of Haiti, the day that it had won its freedom set up Haiti for failure automatically. Today, some scholars believe that Haiti struggles economically because of that fact. We, the people of Haiti, were the first black descendants who ever fought and won our own independence. Folks, when we look at America today, this example that I have just shared with you explains several reasons why few African Americans today are willing to lay it all on the line to fight for their financial freedom, to fight for their independence. Because the majority of us never knew what it feels like to have earned something as unique as one's freedom. And let me tell you why. You see, Dr. King and Malcolm X, they were two great leaders of their time, but they never were the men that gave African Americans their freedom. Let me repeat that. Dr. King and Malcolm X were two great leaders of their time, but they were never the one that gave African Americans their freedom. White men from former slave owners and abolitionists gave African Americans their freedom. It was the Emancipation Proclamation that set us free as a people, and the Civil Rights Movement that made a difference in ensuring that reality came true. Therefore, we did not fight for it. We never had a sense of appreciation, a sense of pride in a victory that the day slavery ended. It was just handed to us. Unlike African Americans, that victory lives within each one of us who was born a freed man or woman in Haiti. It is our greatest achievement as a nation. Hence, there is a big difference when someone hands you down a gift or awards you with something. And that difference is pride, a self-awareness that you have accomplished something on your own. Check out the show I did on April the 23rd, 2011, entitled, Is It Really Free? You will find more details on this subject. If you have been following all of my shows, I shared my experience when I purchased my first computer by myself. It brought me a great joy. It was a defining moment in my life. Likewise, Haiti's independence in 1804 has also brought its people, present day, a sense of arrogance at the same time. It is that one thing that no one can take away from Haiti, but like I have stated before, it is also that one thing that has kept Haiti back. So let me conclude with this. Several years ago, my pastor did a sermon that it was very powerful. In that sermon, he asked the question, under whose authority will you follow? At the time, I was just out of college and not married. I had an on and off girlfriend that I was seeing, and my pastor's message resonated within me because here I was, a man out of college, dating and doing as I pleased. Although I had a job at the same time, I had no other bosses. I was my own boss. I did what I wanted and when I wanted. I no longer had to listen to anyone else telling me what to do. Even my girlfriend could not tell me what to do. And that was when I had a defining moment about having order in my life. I understood the question that he was asking of me, of my life. My pastor wanted to know, who do I respect enough to follow their leadership? Under whose authority was I going to follow as I continued on in my adult life? Was it going to be my parents? Still? The police officer who can arrest me if I act disorderly? Or was it going to be my friends who can be a bad influence in my life if I let them? Or was it going to be the President of the United States, under which I reside in my home state? Do you get my point? Therefore, I must ask you, my fellow Haitian descendants of a freed black slave, under whose authority will you follow? Will it be the French, the Canadians, or the Americans? Haiti has proven that it cannot be an independent country, independent nation on its own anymore. It does not have the resources to sustain itself in any crisis, yet alone recover from such devastation as the January 12, 2010 earthquake. It has been over 1 year and Haiti still is worse off than it was in the beginning. So what is it going to be, Haiti? Your independence or your codependence in a country that can modernize you and even financially empower you in the 21st century? Well, folks, that is our show for today. You have been watching Voices for the Voiceless. As always, you have been enlightened. I hope you have been enlightened, empowered, and definitely been educated. Take care and God bless.